Of the topics I've done so far, this is dearest to my heart. My debate partner and I have gone at it. We have done some serious battle over the last couple of years about Aaron Donald. This is the essence of what I do and what I've done these many years on national TV. I go at it with NFL and NBA Hall of Famers. I go at it with a lot of current NFL and NBA players on whatever the hottest issues are in pro basketball and pro football. And I want you to know that what I'm proudest of, especially with Shannon, is I am not intimidated to do battle with him about the deepest football topics, because while Shannon has made his mark as a rare former pro football player who can hit to all fields on a debate show 365 days a year, I would also take pride for myself in the fact that all I've ever heard since I started in this business was from athletes, if you didn't play, you don't know. Baloney. Wrong. I believe that on a daily basis on Undisputed, I display my football knowledge with that Hall of Famer who has extreme football knowledge, but I don't believe he has any more football knowledge than I do. I feel it's a level playing field because I was so blessed to learn my football covering Don Shula and the great Bill Walsh, who became a close friend of mine, and Tom Landry, who was distant, but I spent a lot of time around him, and then Jimmy Johnson, who did let me in many times and taught me so much of what I know about pro football. And all the assistant coaches who worked for all these men, these greats, taught me so much. I feel like I went to football school, and in some ways, I got to learn more than even Shannon was able to in playing for the two teams that he played for, Denver and Baltimore. And the truth is that what I've found is that often the greater the player, the less he knows about actually knowing who can and can't play, because often the greatest players are so great, they're so gifted that they can't really see past the end of their own nose. And it takes more of an underachiever, I'm sorry, really an overachiever, somebody who needs to achieve, to be able to see who can and can't play. I played high school baseball at a fairly high level. I made an all-star team my senior year. I played high school basketball. I was much better earlier. Coach's son started over me my senior year in high school. I got to play a little bit here and there. I was sort of a sixth or seventh man. I didn't play high school football. Yet my strong suit has actually become football. I feel like I know which quarterbacks can play coming out of college in ways even Shannon can't see. Who do I think's obviously the greatest basketball player ever, the greatest single performer I've ever seen in any sport? It's Michael Jordan. What's happened to him as the team builder, as the personnel director of his basketball team that he owns and operates? Well, he's turned into the worst GM in the history of the NBA. I don't even think it's debatable. He just is. And yet, I go back to my Dallas Cowboys. Who built them? Who was their draft master in the 60s and 70s? It was Gil Brandt. I'm sure you've heard of Gil Brandt, even if he's way before your time. But he was known as the draft master of the NFL. Gil Brandt didn't play high school football. What do we see across the landscape in football and basketball and baseball now? We see analytics GMs. We see analytics-based head coaches. They didn't play their sport. They learned their sport. And we see, let's go to basketball, my San Antonio Spurs. were built by R.C. Buford. To me, the best GM in basketball, the best team builder. Stole so many draft picks down the line into the second round. Tony Parker, late first, Manu, late second. R.C. Buford was a walk-on football player at Oklahoma State. Didn't play basketball. Well, how can that be? Who's the biggest name in the news right now in professional basketball? Well, it's Daryl Morey, now the GM of the Sixers. I tried to find out. I don't think he even played high school basketball. He's tall, he's 6'4", but he went to Northwestern, then he went to MIT, and he's brilliant. He's an analytics wizard. You might even say genius, but he didn't play the sport that he presides over. Mike McDaniel, the new coach in Miami of the Dolphins, was a walk-on receiver at Yale, but I couldn't find any stats. I don't think he ever got to play. Well, how does he know how to coach? Well, he learned from the Shanahans. And I got to learn, and I am completely comfortable going toe-to-toe with Shannon Sharpe when it comes to Aaron Donald. Shannon has continued to try to tell me for 2 years that Aaron Donald is transcendent. He says, oh, all the Hall of Famers I know, they nod and say, that's the man. He's going to transcend and replace Lawrence Taylor as the greatest defensive player ever. He's on his way. And I'm saying, I'm sorry, I can't see it consistently enough. Lawrence Taylor? I covered that guy. 56 would leap off your screen just about every single play. Remember the LT great soundbite? He's on the sideline before a game. Let's play like a bunch of crazed dogs, he yelled. He played like a crazed dog every play. Aaron Donald's motor doesn't always run that hot. So we got here in LA, we got 2 ADs. We got one with the Rams and one with the Lakers, AD and Anthony Davis, AD for the Lakers, and both have one small glitch. Their motor doesn't always run hot enough. Maybe it's something about the initials AD, I don't know. But in this case, this Aaron Donald, in his first Super Bowl run, remember when they lost to New England 13-3, they beat my Cowboys at the Coliseum. Then they went to New Orleans, and you could say they stole that game, but they won. And then they lost 13-3 to Brady and Belichick. And do you realize Aaron Donald was so quiet in those 3 games? He had 0 sacks, 0 sacks. And he's transcendent. I started thinking it's like the art snob who looks at a bunch of paint splashed on a canvas and says, that's deep. And I look and I say, it is? Eludes me. Sometimes Aaron Donald just eludes me. I can't see it. You got to show me. I got to see. And he's played 5 times against my Dallas Cowboys, and obviously I watch those games extremely closely. He has 1 sack in 5 games against my Cowboys. In 2 of those games, the game ended, and I sat back and I thought, was Aaron Donald hurt today? Because I don't remember 90. I just don't remember him. Oh, says Shannon, well, he gets doubled. So do all the great ones. So did Reggie White. So did Lawrence Taylor. Even when he lined up on the edge, he got chipped by backs. There were always 2 trying to account for him, for his 1, for 56. Well, do I see Aaron Donald disrupt the middle of the line the way Reggie White could? My guy, Charles Haley, he was a terror coming off the edge. Sometimes they move Aaron around, edge rushing, all different spots, all 4 spots. And I'm saying, Shannon, I'm sorry, I can't see it. I see low motor games that do nothing for me. And yet, all week leading up to the Super Bowl, all 2 weeks, Shannon kept predicting Aaron Donald is going to wreck the game. And I said, yeah, he should wreck the game because Cincinnati is coming in with the single worst offensive line in the history of the Super Bowl. Cincinnati allowed 51 sacks in the regular season, and they were about to allow a total of 19 more through the playoffs. That's 70 total sacks. That's unheard of. I don't know how Joe Burrow's still standing, but he's got the gift of avoiding the quote unquote kill shot sort of sack, that blindside hit that concusses him or fractures a clavicle or breaks ribs or whatever God knows could go wrong for him. He just has a knack for avoiding that. He goes down fairly easily. And yet, I'm looking at what Aaron Donald did in the Super Bowl. Shannon came in on Monday morning saying, that's it, that proves it, over and out. He might now be the greatest defensive player ever. Should have been MVP, said Shannon Sharpe. No, the heart and soul of that team, the heart and soul of that victory was little number 10, Cooper Kupp. I'm sorry, he was the clear-cut MVP. I tweeted it immediately when the game ended, should be MVP, and he was. So help me out here. In the Super Bowl, Aaron Donald had 3 solo tackles and 1 assist. 6 of his Rams teammates had more tackles than that. In the Super Bowl, Aaron Donald had 2 sacks, yet so did Von Miller. Okay? In the Super Bowl, Aaron Donald had 2 tackles for losses. Well, so did Von Miller, had 2. And so did that kid, Ernest Jones, who leaped off my screen, number 50. They couldn't block him. He's blitzing like a maniac. Where did he come from? He was hurt for the first 2 playoff games, and then I didn't see that coming, but that gave them a 5th pass rusher who was just hellaciously unblockable. And then in the Super Bowl, Aaron Donald had 3 quarterback hits, I'll give you that, but so did Von Miller, and so did Ernest Jones, a rookie from South Carolina's 2nd-round pick. What? Pro Football Focus ranks the Rams pass rush, the fearsome foursome, as they once called an LA pass rush, that's even before my time, ranked it number 1 in the NFL. Okay. So that means Aaron Donald benefits from Von Miller coming off the other edge, and Leonard Floyd, and Greg Gaines, and even Ernest Jones. Well, doesn't that help Aaron Donald rise and shine? I would think so. Do you realize in the Super Bowl, Cincinnati's pass blocking line had a 14% pass blocking win rate. That means only 14% of the time across the board did they win their blocks. That's unheard of bad. I don't know how the score was that close, but it was. And yet I gave Shannon this. The play of the game came late in the game by Aaron Donald when it got to be 2nd and 1, and Burrow just throws it out. Remember, he went 17 yards to Jamar Chase, and then he went 9 yards to Tyler Boyd. And all of a sudden, it's 2nd and 1, throws it out of bounds deep to nobody. I don't know what that was. And on 3rd and 1, this is the play of the game because they hand it to my man from the University of Oklahoma, Samaje Perine, and Aaron Donald just reached out with one arm around the waist of, I don't know what,